Alright, hey guys, Pax, welcome back to another Pokemon Pocket video. As the title states, we will be going over Entei Ex Annihilape. This Pokemon is too angry to die. Actually, I think it already did die, but nevertheless, the spirit of vengeance. This guy is just embodied with pure rage. A very intense Pokemon overall, the Rage Monkey Pokemon himself. But yeah, this is Annihilape, Entei Ex Annihilape. HP 140, stage 2 of course. Has 1 attack, Dynamite Punch. Requires only 1 fighting energy, does 90 damage. After attacking, this Pokemon does 10 damage of recoil to itself. So, very decent when it comes to poking. Not too bad, especially if you get this Pokemon out your second turn going first. But yeah, this is the deck right here. It's also on the top left, as you can see. We are pairing this guy with Mega Lopunny. Amazing synergy, especially since Annihilape acts somewhat as an Oricorio counter, able to one-shot that Nightmare Bird, even with Giant Cape and Starting Plains buffing that basic Pokemon. And yeah, if this is your first video on my channel, really do consider if you like to subscribe. Really does help me out, especially as a small-time content creator. And without further ado, let's get right in to the deck showcase. Alright, here we are in our first battle, going second up against the Chien-Pao Ex solo deck. And again, if you guys are in my deck showcases, first battle isn't really meant to be too hard, more so just to get the feel for the deck. Alright, this is not too bad. So ideally, you do want to lead with the Mankeys, eventually evolve into Annihilapes, and then once that Annihilape gets knocked out, sub in another one, and then once that gets knocked out, sub in Mega Lopunny. But you can play like this, so just be very fast-paced, aggressive, especially going second. Next turn, if my opponent doesn't Iono or Mars or does whatever to change my hand, we should be able to get Lopunny out and potentially one-shot this Suicune Ex. So for now, just double kick. Perfect. Nice. Look at that. 40 damage. You love to see that. Opponent places 2 Frigibaxes in the bench. This is where it gets very scary because if my opponent is able to get 2 Baxcaliburs out, Chien-Pao can just start attacking. It's going ham. But ultimately, it really is up to RG at this point. Evolving to Primate, Mega Lopunny is out. Copycat, getting a bit of value. Opponent has 5 cards. Perfect. And just like this, we get 1 copy of Will. Keep in mind, there are 2 copies of Will in this deck. And just like this, our whole backline is built. Beat Mega Lopunny, Rapid Smashers, and please one-shot the Suicune. So be nice if I can do that. Okay. That's rough. Only doing 90, but Suicune is on the verge of death. You do love to see that. Perfect. Okay, opponent fails the confusion, so Suicune is an attack. If they did get the heads, we might have been in trouble, but nevertheless, at this point, I can just play it like this. So I get our second copy out. I'm gonna play this a bit cautiously. I don't really have to, but why not? Get Primate out. Ideally, it would be nice if I could get Annihilape out, but RNG really isn't on my side. Saving Will for next turn, so that hopefully I can one-shot the Chien-Pao. Just punch. Punching Suicune, rest in peace. Alright, this is where it gets sweaty, because Chien-Pao can do an insane amount of damage. Can potentially, of course, 2-hit KO the Mega Lopunny. But it's ultimately up to RNG. We got Will, as well as the confusion after attacking with Mega Lopunny, so very scary, but there's still a bit of hope. You got 2 Wills, doesn't really matter, but alright. Primate, you did a good job. Subbing Lopunny back in. Here we go. Will, please. Pull our Will, come on. I believe in you. So we are guaranteed to do 90. So we have a 50% chance to one-shot the Chien-Pao or not. And if we don't, it's pretty much GG. Here we go. 50%, please, heads! Just like that. So you see the gimmick with this deck. It's very stressful sometimes, yeah. But if you can get max damage with Mega Lopunny, very fun. Again, very similar to the previous Marowak EX deck from like Genetic Apex. If you like that deck from the past, then you're gonna love this deck. I've already covered Mega Lopunny EX before, but in my opinion, it pairs very well with the new Annihilape card. And yeah, with that being said, we shall see how this deck performs in PvP. Alright, here we are in PvP battle, going second up against an Entei Ex deck. Could be either, okay, most likely Mega Charizard Y. This is going to be very interesting. So we have to use this Mesagoza. We have to play this very cautiously because, of course, Mega Charizard Y can one-shot Mega Lopunny EX, so we're probably going to save that Pokemon for the late game. Okay, yeah, just going to chill like this. So doing a bit of damage onto Entei, just like this. Hopefully a bit. Okay, only 20. That's fine. But here we go. Okay, so opponent Lucky Ice Pops. Please get Tails. Perfect. Nice. So Lucky Ice Pop is gone. That's very good. Beating Entei evolves into Charmeleon. So Entei EX will one-shot Baniri. Very fast paced and very scary. So next turn we do have to Copycat. Please give me something good. So Baniri does get knocked out. Mankey, it's your time to shine, and then we can get, of course, Annihilape out. All right, evolve into Annihilape. Copycat, please give me a Baniri. Perfect, nice. So we got Baniri out. Mesagoza, Super Toss. Look at that, bending the laws of physics, getting ahead. Another Mankey. Might as well place it just in case. This is where it gets very scary, because my opponent might have a Sabrina. So yeah, it might be safer to place another copy of Mankey down just in case. Just do this. Attack with Annihilape. Not able to one-shot Entei, which is very unfortunate, but doing a bit of chip damage nevertheless. Opponent gets heads using Mesagoza. Charizard EX is out. Okay. This Charizard EX, interesting. Subbing this guy in. Alright. Doing Stoke, not able to attack. This will make it so that we can damage this Pokemon with Annihilape. Interesting. Second copy of Copycat. Might as well Mesagoza. Super Toss yet again. Didn't work this time. Only works once per battle. I'm just gonna Professor's Research. Yeah. Hopefully we can get Lopunny, nice. So we're pretty much cooking. Feed Mega Lopunny like this. Second copy of Annihilape is out just in case. Dynamite Punch. Opponent's getting very lucky with Mesagoza. 4 more cards left. We also have 4 as well. If they don't heal, we can just one-shot this Charizard. But they have 5 cards. There's no way they don't have a healing card in there. Okay, I guess not. Okay. Nice. No Lily, no Lucky Ice Pop. Here we go. So we are guaranteed to one-shot this Charizard EX. It should be GG. Since this deck is running 1 copy of Cyrus. So hopefully we can get the Cyrus right now. No? Okay. Hopefully soon. But played a bit safe yet again, of course. Just gonna will Mesagoza for good luck. Doesn't really matter, but just kind of flexing the Super Toss. Nice, we got Primate, perfect. Just thinning the deck a little bit more. We will flip the coin, doesn't matter. Easy heads. There we go, that's all we need. 90 damage. My opponent can still win. Mega Charizard Y can just one-shot this Mega Lopunny. That will be just absolute cinema. Oh gosh, it's happening. Flame Patch. Doing the combo. Another Flame Patch. Genetic Apex Charizard is out. Do they have one more Flame Patch? Gets heads, doesn't matter at this point. Nice. They have 3. Oh gosh, Copycat. Okay. Yeah, it might be GG. That's pretty rough. But yeah, this deck is fun, but it's not the best. As you can see right here, yeah, a bit of RNG, and opponent does take the win. One-shotting Mega Lopunny. This guy's been out ever since the game has been out. Mega Charizard EX, and it's still the GOAT, as you can see. Our next battle, let's just forget the first battle ever happened. Yeah. Okay, going against a Lightning deck. So Baniri in the active. Grookey. We got the Grook himself. That I'm never saying that word ever again. Look at these 2 sires, just creepily staring at Baniri. Serving Baniri on a dinner plate. Here we go. So Pokeball. Nice. Second copy of Baniri. Might as well just feed. This guy could attack, but I will take some damage from Rock Helmet. So for now, just end my turn. And of course, next turn, sub into Mega Lopunny and just sweep my opponent. All my opponent does is place down Pawmot, feeds Pawmot. So for now, might as well Copycat to get a bit more cards. Nice, Mankey. We also got Will as well as Cyrus. So very straightforward. Let's attack with Mega Lopunny. All I need is 1 heads. Okay, there we go. Nice. It's always so scary once you fail the first coin flip. But easily one-shotting Grookey. Next turn, Pawmot could do a decent amount of damage, especially if my opponent does have Nemona and evolves into Pawmot. Yep, rare candies into Pawmot. This guy does... Hold up, Copycats, never mind, okay. If they did Nemona, I think they might have just won. Yeah, Nemona does plus 80 damage, so 180 damage. Okay, yeah, the opponent would have just easily one-shotted Mega Lopunny EX. Should be GG. Opponent still has a chance. Very much. Mesagoza, hopefully we can get a heads and an Annihilape. Super Toss, perfect. But it doesn't really matter too much. We did get Annihilape. I could retreat, but if my opponent does have a Cyrus, they could still one-shot, so that's very risky. So for now, I'm just going to play this. Why not? I'm just going to... Please, Will. I need to get 2 heads, or else I lose. Okay. So this is the Mega Lopunny and Annihilape deck showcase. I'm not really selling this too well, but you will run into this. Alright, 1 more heads. GG. Actually, it's not GG, but an insane lead against my opponent. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you do love to see this. So, still very scary. Mega Lopunny is slowly getting chipped. Yeah, opponent concedes. Only had 3 cards left, so they could have got a second copy of Pawmot out, and then potentially one, especially if Mega Lopunny did get pretty bad RNG, but yeah, that was something. For our next battle, yet again, leading with Baniri. What is up with this, man? We have a 50% chance to lead with Baniri or Mankey, and we just keep on getting Baniri out. On the bright side, we can get Mega Lopunny out next turn. The main issue is that we will have to wait 2 more turns until Mega Lopunny Ex can attack. Alright, so opponent feeds Nihilego, places down Zubat. Most likely we'll get Crobat Ex out next turn. Pokeball, hopefully we can get Baniri. Perfect. That's very nice. It's going to feed Baniri to do a bit of chip damage on to Nihilego. Could evolve, but again, don't want to take that risk. So we will do 40 damage, pretty nice. And then next turn, hopefully my opponent doesn't red card our Mars. We can evolve into Mega Lopunny in the bench. Sub into Mankey, making so that we can one-shot Nihilego, but most likely my opponent will sub into Crobat. Or even Zubat, okay, yeah. Zubat is here. Nice, so we did get Annihilape. At this point, just evolve. We got everyone we need out. Sub into Annihilape. I'll save Cyrus for next turn. One-shotting this Zubat. Opponent does Sabrina. I see what they're trying to do, okay. Interesting. So subbing into Baniri. Baniri will die this turn. Annihilape is back out. At this point, I could Cyrus Nihilego, but Nihilego won't really do much unless my opponent is running, of course, a Poke Tool. Very straightforward stuff. I could Copycat, but at this point, just one-shot Zubat. Next turn, I can just Cyrus, and it should be GG. If my opponent does evolve into Hydreigon, it doesn't matter. All right, here we go. Hydreigon is out. I could still lose if Mega Lopunny decides to get 2 tails in a row. So that's the main issue. If anything, we can definitely just one-shot Nihilego. Oh, hold up. Opponent red cards. That could be huge unless I can pull a Cyrus. Okay. Yeah, that's a huge issue. I held on to Cyrus for way too long, but it should be still good. 7 into Annihilape. I'm confident. Here we go. 1 card. It's going to be Cyrus. Maybe not. We got a Mankey. Okay. So, on the bright side, we do have Will. So we need to get 1 more heads. Okay, opponent just concedes. They could have still won. Sure, but... Alright. That's, I really can't wait until rank comes back. Because casual battle is fun and all, but people just surrender way too quickly. Especially if I wasn't able to one-shot Hydreigon. Alright, last battle. Going first. Finally leading with Mankey. Ooh, this looks very juicy. We got Professor as well as Rare Candy. Okay, not too bad. Regardless, we are able to one-shot Mantike next turn. So just do this, end our turn. Opponent Misty. I swear to... Okay, Misty. Okay. Only 1 heads, but that 1 heads could be huge. Especially if my opponent does get Mega Swampert Ex next turn. That will be extremely difficult to work around. At this point, evolving into Primate, might as well Copycat at this point. Hopefully we can get at least 1 copy of Mega Lopunny or even Annihilape. But there's a high chance Primate will die next turn. We got another Mankey. Nice. Sure. Why not? Place that guy down. Punch. Rest in peace, Mankey. Yep, Rare Candy. You love to see this. Swampert is out. Whopping 230 HP. Able to one-shot Primate. But looking at this guy could disrupt himself. Because after attacking, this guy does discard 2 energy from both their side and my side. So Primate is screwed, regardless. But... Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, they got the... Okay. It doesn't matter because they did have... The Misty, dude. Misty freaking changed the game. I really hate that card with a passion. So now it gets very difficult. Alright, so now we might as well just evolve into Mega Lopunny. Place all our heart and soul onto this Mega EX. Copycat. Perfect, we got Will. But it's still very awkward. So we need a bit of RG to help. If this Mega Lopunny gets their energy discarded, then it's basically GG. Opponent attacks. Mega Swampert, please. Okay, 1 more battle. We can't end it off on a loss. Freaking Misty, man. If that Misty didn't do what she did, then we had a chance. But looking at this, there's still hope. But it's very grim. Screw it. Yeah, we're just gonna do this. So evolve into this guy just in case my opponent does try to Sabrina. And our turn. Very grim, but there is still hope. Very slightly. Okay, Mega Swampert attacks. Discard from themselves. Alright. It ain't over yet. Opponent might have just closed the app. Regardless how much damage I do, my opponent's active Pokemon is still going to be confused. And on top of that, okay, only do 90. And on top of that, opponent can attack unless they Misty yet again. I swear, if Misty comes back and gives this guy one more heads, I'm going to be super pissed. Okay, opponent Lucky Ice Pops. Yeah, I'm doing one more battle. It's just... Okay. This is really pissing me off. Just like this, opponent's Pokemon is basically at full health. Okay. Just keep going, yeah. Just do 2 more times, at least, please. Just keep on Lucky Ice Popping. Healing... How much was that? Like 70 HP? Finally gone. But it already served its purpose. Mega Swampert is back to full health. It ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. We have 4 more cards, 1 more copy of Will. So Rapid Smashes. Hopefully we can get 2 heads. Please. I have to do this. Super Toss. Not working. Only getting 1 heads. But that's fine. Because we aren't able to one-shot Mega Swampert anyways. This is where confusion comes to effect. Freaking yeah, dude, they should nerf this card. Please, Dina, if you're listening. Okay, just like that. Okay, there's still hope. This is really stupid. Just like this, we will have to 2-hit KO Mega Swampert yet again. Second copy of Lucky Ice Pop is finally gone. Opponent has to fail this coin flip. If they don't, I lost. So here we go. Coin confusion. Of course they get it. One more battle. We can't end it off on a loss. That was freaking Misty, man. I'm blaming Misty. If it weren't for Misty and also freaking Lucky Ice Pops, I would have stood a chance, but I just couldn't. All right, last battle, I swear. Going second, once again, going back to the norm, leading with Baniri. Again, ideally for this deck, you do want to lead with Mankey, but it really depends on RNG. Ooh, okay. Going up against Mega Absol Ex Hydreigon, a very meta-prominent deck. Not too bad. So at this point, feed this guy and end our turn. We could attack, but not worth it. And also, opponent did Poison Barb, so really not worth attacking. Next turn, we can get Mega Lopunny out. Opponent feeds Mega Absol. Oh boy. Here we go. So hopefully we can one-shot Nihilego. All we need is 1 heads. Super Toss. Holy crap. Perfect. 90 damage. One-shotting. The main downside is that we are poisoned. So Mega Absol can 2-hit KO Mega Lopunny. Damn, opponent does get Hydreigon out. Hydreigon won't be able to one-shot Mega Lopunny, but doing substantial amount of damage. Okay, on the bright side, we get our second copy of Lopunny. Yeah, I feel like this deck is pretty fun, but you do want to get Mankey out. And depending on your battles, you might be forced to lead with Mega Lopunny Ex. And can we get 2 heads, please? Okay. Okay, 2 tails. Perfect. We can still win, but it's looking very grim. So Hydreigon is confused. Ultimately comes down to the coin flip. Lucky Ice Pops as well. You do love to see this. At least, okay, finally gone, dude. I swear. Like, that card comes back, I'm gonna be super pissed. So coin flip, fails it, okay. But this is the main issue here, is that this guy's on the brink of death. All it takes is 1 Dino and Cyrus, and then I basically lost. But for now, sub this guy in, and just hope my opponent doesn't Cyrus. And by now, you can probably see a theme for this deck. A lot of hoping that your opponent either misses a coin flip, or you succeed with your coin flips. So here we go. With that being said, please. Okay, 2 tails. Yeah, okay. What a video. Well, yeah, what a video in general. This is the issue with this deck. It's very fun, don't get me wrong, but it requires a lot of RNG. And despite how much I do love the gimmick of Mega Lopunny EX, in ranked, you might run into this and it's really not worth running because of the RNG. And opponent fails a coin flip yet again. Okay, that's nice. But it doesn't matter because the opponent did feed Mega Absol. All it takes now is Cyrus and I basically lost. And I can't get Mankey out for whatever reason. That's cool. At this point, feed doesn't matter. Feed this guy. And then please, can I get heads? 2 heads, please? Perfect. Nice. So there's still hope if my opponent isn't Cyrus, but this is very late in the game as of now. My opponent still has 8 cards, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do Cyrus right now, and we're about to find out. And GG, just like that, of course. You can already see it coming a mile away. And yeah, it's a Mega Lopunny EX deck showcase. Overall, yeah, not really worth running. You could run instead of, let's say, Primeape Lucky Ice Potion, but still, it's very inconsistent. You can't really rely on Mega Lopunny, as you can see, even with the will buffs. And despite having 2 copycats, you will run into some issues where it's very hard to get Annihilape out. Screw it. One more battle. With the magic of editing, this last battle will be like 10 to 15 seconds long. So here we go. Feed Baneri, Copycat, Pokeball, Playstyle Mankey, attack. Evolve into Annihilape, evolve into Mega Lopunny, attack. And GG. Just like that. So, yeah, my opponent got very bad RNG, and I was able to sweep Gholdengo Ex, and yeah, that's Mega Lopunny EX and Annihilape in a nutshell. And yeah, that was the deck showcase. Overall, this deck is fun, in quotation marks. Requires a bit of RNG. I feel like in rank, especially in high tier, there are far better decks. But keep in mind, this deck actually won a tournament, got first place in a recent tournament. If you guys haven't checked it out, I did make a weekly meta report. Should be the video before this. Yeah, a lot of potential, but requires a lot of RNG. Yeah, a lot of coin flips. If you do like the coin flip mechanic in this game, then you will definitely love this deck. If you don't like coin flips, if you want more consistent and guaranteed damage, then yeah, this is not for you. I'd invest in something like Hydreigon, Mega Absol, or even the new Chien-Pao / Excalibur deck, B tier. I think I gave that to Mega Lopunny as well, because I did make a Mega Lopunny EX deck showcase when it first came out, and that deck, same issue, there's RNG. And with Annihilape is pretty nice, but that 90 damage is kind of awkward, especially if your opponent is running something like Lucky Ice Pop. Sure, this guy can do easy, fast damage, but compared to other stage 2s that can do the same thing, like Hydreigon, yeah, Hydreigon is far better. But overall, this card is very promising. I can very much see this card being paired with another more meta fighting EX, or even fighting non-EX if they do ever add those. Because currently, fighting type is dead. Looking at the new cards, yeah, the last card that we got from a booster pack was Gigalith EX. That's something noteworthy because, yeah, I did make a deck showcase yet again with this guy, but let's just forget this guy ever came out. If anything, Metachamp EX is the absolute GOAT. Debatably the best fighting Mega EX they added in Series B, and it's a promo card. Yeah. So yeah, debatable. I mean, you could debate that Mega Lopunny is better, especially with that guaranteed confusion, but depending on your opponent's deck, they can definitely play around that. They could sub out their active Pokemon with a bench and just sweep your Mega Lopunny just like that. Or even PC Lady. PC Lady does remove status conditions, keep in mind. But yeah, that was the deck showcase. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Hopefully you found this video informative as well as a little entertaining. I tried to be. All I have to say is that fighting type deserves some love. Water, screw water. They're the best. Like, we don't need more supports. For fire, we got Flame Patch, Grass, Quicker Extract. Where is the fighting support? We need some, please. And yeah, that's the video. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.